Hey, Dkayed here. So during my last stream I decided to host a King of the Hill mini tournament. The purpose of this was to show top tier gameplay and to see what decks perform the best. At the moment, playing games at King of Games rank is a joke. So I hope through streaming small events like this I could help grow the competitive community and have good players actually try their best to build the best decks and play their best. In the near future I will be hosting monthly tournaments that I will live cast on Twitch. My first tournament will be a 30-person capped tournament with $180 in prize support for a $5 entry fee. First place will receive $100. Entry for the tournament is prioritized for Discord members first. Enjoy these games, they are truly top tier. Alright, let's see if this is a Harpies versus Harpies mirror match. So, a big play to do in the mirror match is stealing your opponent's Red Lotus. So let's see if one of these Discord members paid attention to the random tips channel, which I tell you how to counter your opponent stealing your Red Lotus. Sonic Duck is a very standard opener. Alright, so we're in the end phase, and there's a delay. So we can expect an enemy controller in order to charge, possibly. I'm thinking it's an order to charge. He probably would have played enemy controller if he had it. So let's think it's an order to charge. Alright, so I'm gonna think the two cards in his hand are either spell or traps or two dead Red Lotuses. Red Lotus has made the building Harpies fairly standard. Everyone's using enemy controller, order to charge, and mirror wall as their back row. So anything that isn't one of those three is a big surprise. And I'd like to see the games go 2 out of 3. So, he got really unlucky here. I think he probably had 2 dead Red Lotuses. And in the mirror match, it's really important to not overset, because with 2 field spells, it's no good. So I believe we are in the perspective of 3P1C Fail, who won game 1. So that was bad that he did not open with a Sonic Duck, and he did. He possibly has back row he's sitting on. If you paid attention, that was the newest card he drew, so he did not open with Sonic Duck. The Harpy mirror match is very explosive. You have to be very careful with your back row. So we're not sure who the delay is from. It could be from an enemy controller or an order to charge in his hand, or it could be from his back row. I don't believe there's any way to tell if we're in the battle step or not. It will only tell us battle phase. Alright, so he lets that go. Hopefully we see a Red Lotus this game. What I would like to see from Konami for matches, if we have matches in Worlds, I think the losing player should be able to choose who goes first or second. I feel that's fair. So he could choose to pop that back row twice, or he could choose to get rid of the field spell with it. Now I wasn't paying attention, but So the mistake he did here was using his own field spell to pop his back row in case it was a security orb. It's really not a relevant card right now, but you have nothing to lose by using their own field spell to destroy their back row. Yeah, so he's getting really unlucky with his draws. So if he has one enemy controller, he could stop losing by losing, and he has to flip a mirror wall. So one enemy controller, he's okay, or he's gonna flip a mirror wall right now. So he's forced to use mirror wall. Yeah, I'll lower the music for this. Alright, so he's probably still playing Lotus Harpies. And we have a Bandit Keith. Bandit Keith might be playing Toons. I don't think he's playing Red Eye Zombies. I'm expecting Toons. So it looks like he did not draw a field spell in his opener.
Duel.
Yes, it is Toons versus Lotus Harpies. This will be a ton of commentary. It'll basically just be, oh yes, field spell, he wins. Alright, let's see how long Toons can stay at table 1. We have Lotus Harpies versus Toons. So the Lotus Harpy player, he's holding on to his Harpy. And the Toon player either does not have a play, he either doesn't have Toons, or he is waiting for Magic Reflectors. Okay, let's see his third card, if this was a Magic Reflector. Did he wait a turn? Or did he wait for Magic Reflector? He did not wait for a Magic Reflector. This might be the new card he drew. This might be a Gravel Storm. I wasn't paying attention if this was the new card, but he possibly waited a turn for Gravel Storm. Alright, so we're expecting a Harpy here. Here we go, we have Red Lotus, and we have a Gravel Storm. So he's preemptively using Gravel Storm because his only play is to summon a Harpy. Now, if he has an order to charge, now would be the time he could use it. He could wait till his opponent's turn. When he plays Toon Kingdom, he could chain it to it. I would not have sent the field spell back. Basically, you gave the Harpy player a choice to play the field spell before summoning the Harpy, which he chose to do. So yeah, you did not even need order charge. Lotus could just swing over. If he sent his back row back, then he might have rethought about if he wanted to use Lotus effect or not. So he's still in the game because he Gravel Stormed his Toon Kingdom. So I believe he is... Yes, he set his toggle to on. This was very smart. This was very top tier play. He had to set his toggle to on to order to charge, destroy his face down Ladybug to prevent a Toon Summon Skull from being summoned. So that was a very, very good play. You must have your toggle set to on to perform what he did. So that was very good play from 3PC Fail, putting his toggle to on to stop a Toon Summon Skull, which I don't believe he had anyway because he had a Mermaid to follow up. Here, moderators, please let Alan Twitch TV figure it out. Alan Twitch, I believe you were the person who helped me out a ton on my last stream. So if you could set a character limit, that'd be helpful. Yeah, I'm not saying to put it in slow mode or anything. I was just asking. I don't know if that's what we need. Alright, so okay, just ban the idiots apparently. That's the best option. So he waited a turn. We could pay attention to what this card is. Either did not have a Toon play, or he waited for a Gravel Storm. So I would expect this to be a Gravel Storm. Yeah, I really think it's Gravel Storm. But the thing with Harpies is once they use Gravel Storm, you could use Order to Charge. You can use Enemy Controller in this situation too, and he'll lose. I think 3 PC Fail is going to win this. So Lotus Harpies has done very well against Toons. I feel Toons has made Red Lotus Harpies much better out of the top 4 decks. Handless should also have a good matchup. Yeah, this is... There's no way he's going to recover from this. The Toon player loses. You need to pay life points to attack with most of your monsters besides Toon Dark Magician. Dark Magician Girl. If he had Magic Reflector, that could have changed this whole game. So that was a Gravel Storm. I'm not sure if he's playing D-Spell or Reflector. I think he would be. So, if you don't have D-Spell or Reflector, you're going to lose against Harpies, very likely. So, Chilla's saying he instantly clicked the chat. He clicked the room, but he wasn't quick enough. So, Suck on My Deck outplayed Chilla. So, why do we need to limit characters? What's going on? People are... Why is the trolling happening now? What happened? I'm trying to click through the deleted messages. I think people are making tryhards. I mean, only ban someone spamming, okay? If they spam, like... If they post, like, 3 times in a row, just ban them. But, you know, they could do emotes and shit, I don't care. Okay, so we have another Toon matchup. Will 3 PC Fail as Lotus Harpies defeat Toons? Is Lotus Harpies the counter to Toons? That is possibly what we're seeing here. Now he has the option to Order to Charge or Enemy Controller the Pathfinder, which he did choose to do. So he's using Harpy Lady early. That means he has another Harpy Lady in his hand. I would think so. Or he has a Red Lotus in his hand. So I'm going to say he has a Red Lotus or another Harpy in his hand. Chilla, I'm trying to mod you. Keep saying invalid username. If you say something in the chat, I'll click you and I'll promote you to mod. Alright, so I'm thinking the Toon player's possibly playing conservatively unless he's getting really unlucky. So I wasn't paying attention if that was the card he was holding onto his hand, but there you go. So 3 PC Fail is on his way to beating 2 Toon decks in a row. So when I host my monthly tournament, which maybe might be this weekend, we could possibly expect people to be very hesitant about running Toons. Maybe these Toon players are just drawing very poorly against Lotus Harpies.
Duel.
I'd like to see one of the Toon players open up the field spell. Or, there you go, Dispel. This will be very great to see how the Toon player does with this. If the Toon player could follow up with the field spell. Okay, so he has 2 Dispels. Alright, is this Mind Scan? Maybe he has a Magic Reflector. So let's see if that was his only out to the Harpy Lady Ground. I really think he has a Magic Reflector. He either has a Magic Reflector or a Gravel Storm. So if he could summon Toon Dark Magician Girl right now. Okay, he's waiting another turn. I don't know, I think these Toon players are getting really unlucky. We could have another Toon player join and show them. Maybe get less unlucky. But this is 2 Toon players in a row. He 2-0'd them with Lotus Harpies. That's 4-0 against Toons. If you already participated in the duel room, do not rejoin. I'm allowing this because they disconnected. So 3 PC Fail was on his way to 2-0ing this Lotus Harpy player. So we're gonna see if he could redeem himself in the Lotus. Okay, maybe he's switched. I don't think he's Lotus Harpies anymore. Yeah, so he's not Harpies anymore. I think he switched to Toons, so he's going to redeem himself by playing Toons. Yes, the Order to Charge enemy controller is a very good way to stop a Pathfinder. If you're playing against Lotus Harpies, I would expect them to be playing 3 of each of those cards. This is definitely a tough match for Toons. We will see if 3 PC Fail can go 6-0 against Toons. Yeah, I like memes, sure. I'm a meme.
This card is useless.
So the reason I'm not allowing Gravekeepers in this mini little King of the Hill tournament is because I don't want top deck McGee to just destroy everyone with his Gravekeepers, and then we all don't get to see how these 4 decks compete.
Duel.
Alright, Balance Bakura. This is handless balance, I am sure of it. Did this game crash? What happened? Alright, so 3PC fail does not want to overcommit to the field because he will lose to a storm. Balance Handless. The best way Balance Handless beats Harpies is a big storm play. And even better, if they have a Wild Tornado in that storm play, the Harpy player loses instantly. It's an instant loss to storm. So Chilla, he has a Swift Gaia stuck in his hand. That is what I believe. Or a Flash Assailant. And he doesn't want to overcommit set to the field. So I believe Chilla has a set Wild Tornado. I think 3PC fail is definitely going to be playing around a Wild Tornado. Because Chilla hasn't been setting other cards, I feel like he would safely only set a Wild Tornado. So watch for the middle card being a Wild Tornado. And this is possibly a Flash Assailant that he's just giving up for free to open up hand space. We know he is likely sitting on a Storm, and he's probably very frustrated right now that he has nothing to clear with Storm. So 3PC fail decided to play conservatively, and he's seeing it pay off. So he's going to continue to play safe. So I think he knows that the middle one is Wild Tornado, so he's choosing not to destroy the middle one. So this might be... So I'm thinking this card is a Dimension Gate. So he is possibly going to steal Sonic Duck right now in the end phase. He's going to steal Sonic Duck, banish him with Dimension Gate, and then it is permanently under his control once Sonic Duck returns to the field. So it's 3PC fail's choice to commit to the field or continue with this. Now that he has a Harpy Lady on the field, he's at risk of being OTK'd next turn. If Chilla has a Storm, he could Storm his Wild Tornado, and he could Storm his D-Gate. When he storms the Wild Tornado and D-Gate, he's going to lose his Field Spell, and he's going to lose his Harpy, and he's going to set 2 and summon his Swift Gaia and swing for game. Alright, so we have an enemy controller. If you enemy controller chain to D-Gate, it stops them from banishing. He will no longer banish the card. So he had an out to it. That could have been his plan all along. But he definitely played around D-Gate. There you go. So now he is not going to get OTK'd to a D-Gate Wild Tornado Storm play. 3PC fail has been making very advanced plays. So that is a Wild Tornado like I predicted earlier. So he's clearing up his back row space. He knows that 3PC fail is not going to fall for the Wild Tornado. Here comes a Swift Gaia.
This card is useless.
Am I saying his name correctly? I think it's 3PC fail, right? I'm gonna call him 3PC fail. If his name is some kind of meme I don't know about, that's too bad. Okay, listen. I'm 27 years old. I'm too fucking old for these 12-year-old memes, alright? Alright. I'll start calling him Epic Fail now. So he's choosing to order to charge early. I'm not sure if he has 3 normal monsters in the grave now for a Red Lotus play. There you go. So usually you want to wait with your order to charge, but because he had a Red Lotus, he is going for the Red Lotus play right now. Now he had the choice. So actually, yeah, Harpy Lady is the best choice here. So it was really good that he popped the first enemy controller, because that is the only way that's going to protect him from this game, is an enemy controller. Now, Bakura is not out of this game yet. Bakura can draw a warrior returning alive. He might have a storm set. If this is a storm set, he could pop a good back row, and he could summon his... There you go, warrior returning. So this will swing over Red Lotus, but it's very unlikely because unless he has a storm and he hits a vital back row, one of these have to be a mirror wall, an enemy controller, or order charge. So I'm gonna say that Epic Fail, My Valentine, is going to win this game. He's definitely gonna stop this. Now, if it's a mirror wall, he's probably going to want to pay in the standby phase for it to keep Swift Gaia at a low attack so he could swing over it next turn. Because even with an enemy controller, he cannot get over Swift Gaia unless he wants to tribute, take control of Swift Gaia to swing for game. So it is a mirror wall. He's going to... Does he lose right now? He's at 600 life. So he loses right now. Alright, we're going into Game 2, Balance Handless versus Lotus Harpies. The Lotus Harpies player, 3 PC fail, not Epic Fail. 3 PC fail, he's 3-0 right now. This is his 4th opponent. And he has been 2-0ing all his opponents. He is completely undefeated. Not even one game taken off of him. Yes, even wins versus Handless. I would say that Handless has the upper match, the upper hand against Lotus Harpies. They should have an advantage, but 3 PC Fail played very smart around Storm. He didn't want all his cards to get stormed off, so he didn't set any of his back rows. And I feel the Handless player set a very obvious Wild Tornado, and the Harpy player was able to play around that. So 3 PC stands for 3 personal computers, and we're figuring out what 1 stands for. I think there's the 3 PCs and 1 of them fail. So this is not good for Handless. One of the worst hands you could draw with Handless is Swift Gaia with your field spell. That makes your field spell useless unless you use it for storm fodder. So I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to bring up relevant cards on stream. So Harpy Lady wants to avoid the Wild Tornado. I guess he's safely getting rid of the Gateway because he does not want to get Wild Tornadoed. Otherwise, the field spell was useless, so he really did not want to get Wild Tornadoed. No, it's not Epic, it's 3 PC. So Storm is one of the core cards of the Swift Gaia player's deck. I'm using Dueling Book. It's like Facebook for Yu-Gi-Oh! It helps you get laid while playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So last turn, the Harpy player was playing around Wild Tornado.
Exodia, obliterate!
The reason he played around Wild Tornado is because he very likely had an enemy controller or a mirror wall. So he could safely tribute the Harpy Lady for a Red Lotus. So in order to guarantee that and not lose to a Wild Tornado, that's why he destroyed the field spell. And as you can see, he followed up with a Red Lotus. With Red Lotus, it opens up many great plays. You could use enemy controllers and resummon your monster. You could use Order to Charge freely and resummon your monster. And we know because Heart of the Underdog did not activate, that he did not draw a normal monster.
This card is useless.
So he wants to get use out of his enemy controller. I'm expecting possibly a Dkayed. He might use Dkayed or he not. So with no Dkayed, that increases the chances of one of the face downs being enemy controller and Wild Tornado. Or he chose to not use Dkayed because he knew that he could not do anything with the Gaia besides swing for game. The Harpy player is likely not playing Dkayed himself. So that is a Wild Tornado, which is why he destroyed the field spell earlier. So that was really bad for 3 PC fail. And hopefully he could come back with a card he draws. If he draws a normal monster, the underdog will just draw his whole deck. But he's possibly still sitting on a mirror wall, or an enemy controller, or an Order to Charge, so he could deal with the Swift Gaia. If the Swift Gaia player draws another monster like Flash Assailant or Blue Flame, then he could possibly be in trouble. This is game 2. My Valentine has game 1. And he is also undefeated. I believe he's 4-0 against opponents. So he drew a monster. And it does not show us which monster. So he drew another monster. He's drawn 2 cards thanks to Underdog. So this shows the power of Underdog. He possibly drew another Lotus, where he could tribute and go back to using Harpy Lady. So this is where the Harpy player is in a tough situation. If the Harpy player doesn't aggressively use Order to Charge, then he's basically sitting on a mirror wall. And if you're sitting on a mirror wall, the Swift Gaia player could just wait for a storm and storm off the mirror wall and then go in. So the Harpy player really badly wants to have a Red Lotus or more Harpies. He just wants to clear all that back row. Because he safely cannot go for game with an enemy controller play. Thank you, Dark's Tarot, for being here. Have a good night to you too. So Chilla says that he drew 2 Inpachis and 1 Harpy. And he's drawing more. So his deck size could possibly be an issue this game. If he's going to stall out with Mirror Wall and Chilla is going to not attack and stall himself until he draws a storm, he could possibly just win by deck out. Yes, the size of your deck matters. Always compare your deck size with your opponent. Alright, so we're gonna go for... he's gonna go for game right here. He can afford to do these plays to free up his back row, and he also has so many monsters in his hand. I believe Heart of the Underdog has drawn him 4 cards by now. So Heart of the Underdog has put in a lot of work. Hey, if you're new to the stream, this is King of the Hill Duel Rooms. These players can only play Handless, Toons, Red Eye Zombies, or Lotus Harpies. We're playing King of the Hill. You know, in the future, I'm going to open up King of the Hill to any deck you want because it's King of the Hill. If you're going to play a shitty deck and lose, you're going to get knocked out really quickly. But to ensure the first couple games are quality, I want to see top tier decks only. So that Wild Tornado was very late. Either he was holding on to it or he just drew it, but Wild Tornado could have prevented Heart of the Underdog from drawing a lot of cards. So 3 PC fail, Lotus Harpies is undefeated. He has beaten 5 players so far. If you are in the Discord and you want to participate in this King of the Hill mini little tournament, no one wins anything, this is just for bragging rights, go into Duel Room number 2 on the Discord. That is where I post the room ID. If 3PC Fail runs out of opponents to play, then we will start a new Duel Room if people can't join. But please, if you dueled him already and you lost, please do not join again. Right now he's undefeated. He is 6-0. No one has taken a single game off of him. This is Lotus Harpies dominating everyone at the moment. So this is the power of Red Lotus. Red Lotus is currently the best way to play Harpies. The premier build to play this is 2 Red Lotus, 2 to 3 Inpachis, 3 Harpy Lady, 3 Sonic Duck, 3 Order to Charge, 3 Enemy Controller, and 2 to 3 Mirror Wall, and 0 to 1 Heart of the Underdog. If you've been to my other streams, you may see the version I was playing. The version I was playing is I am playing Soul Exchange over the Mirror Walls, and I'm playing 3 Red Lotus. Right now, out of the 4 decks, Harpies is the most dominant. So I'm going, because he's dominating so hard with Harpies, that's it. Any deck is allowed.
Duel.
Alright, so King of the Hill, any deck is allowed. 3 PC Fail is undefeated with Lotus Harpies. I believe he's 6-0 right now, that's what we're going to go with. 6-0 with Lotus Harpies. He has been dominating every match. So I'm not sure if the chat is cheering for 3 PC fail or if they want to see him knocked out. So right now 3 PC fail is winning in hand advantage. That was a very good Harpy play, destroying both the back rows. It's very risky to set more than one back row in the mirror match if you cannot destroy both the field spells. Now, Dunamis can be better than Inpachi. How can it be better? Inpachi has 0 defense. So if you put Dunamis in defense because of an enemy controller, a mirror wall will protect your Dunamis, where an Inpachi will just die. So this is again a double back row clear, and the new Red Lotus Harpies are not playing Wild Tornado, so this is very safe. The worst thing that could happen is an order to charge right here. That's pretty much the only bad thing that's going to happen. If his other back row is an order to charge, then he cannot use it right now. If he was choosing to take control of his opponent. So if 3 PC fail has an enemy controller, he pretty much wins. And there you go, the enemy controller. Now, when I cast the tournaments, I'm going to be more reserved on saying what plays I think they should play because... Or I'm going to set a big delay. I'm going to set a delay when I cast the tournament. So, because right now, when I'm saying potential plays or what I think the best play is, I don't want the player to be listening and do that play. Alright, so we have 3 PC fail versus an imposter 3 PC fail. Alright, Zero, if you join... I'll open a new duel room. So, after this duel, after 3 PC fail beats 3 PC fail, we're going to have Zero. I'm going to open a new room for Zero, if he's still available after this match. And he is going to have to play against 3 PC fail, and maybe he will defeat the undefeated 3 PC fail. Yeah, Freight, you're good to go. Alright, this is, I believe, Handless versus Harpies. Yes, Balance Handless versus Harpies. Blue Flame is the new card that every Handless player is playing. Let's put him up on screen. So Blue Flame, the best thing about Blue Flame is, in the damage step, he could lower his attack by 600 and give it to Swift Gaia. He can make Swift Gaia 2900 attack. Now, this was possibly a misplay. I think it was possibly a misplay from the eliminating the league player. The best thing to do here would have been to hopefully wait for him to set his order to charge and then attack. If he would have used it on the attack, I know the reason why he used it right away is because he wanted information on his hand. He wanted to see his hand. But to counter the eliminating the league, he was able to use order to charge, which could have been avoided. So let's put eliminating league on the screen. That play has possibly costed him. So he used enemy controller on, which isn't being targeted. I believe he targeted the middle set. Okay. He may have thought that his enemy controller was being targeted. I think that's why he used his enemy controller. But yeah, I'm not sure if he could come back from this. Maybe he could top the field spell or a Swift Gaia. That would be very beneficial. Alright, so we have a Flash Assailant. Is Flash Assailant enough to get him back into this game? I don't think so. I think at least one of his back rows are Mirror Wall, and Mirror Wall will stop the Flash Assailant. It will at least hold off Flash Assailant until he could draw another monster and probably just do an enemy controller play. So if he has a Mirror Wall and a Red Lotus, it's pretty much over for him. This is 3 PC Fail versus 3 PC Fail. 3 PC Fail is undefeated, 7-0. With Lotus Harpies, he is 2-0ing all of his opponents. Now the best thing the handless player could do here, which is not good for him. Okay, so he's playing around a Mirror Wall. The best thing he could possibly do is slowly gather cards so he could storm. So if that was a Dunamis, like I said earlier, Mirror Wall would have protected his monster, and then he could tribute for Red Lotus, special summon Inpachi, and then enemy controller the Flash Assailant and swing for game. So if it being Inpachi, it was not good in that scenario. So even though the handless player is at a severe disadvantage from plays earlier in the game, he may make a comeback with this.
Like a Hellcat.
He may still have Mirror Wall. Just because he has a set monster, I believe if he has a Mirror Wall and he uses it, then he must have a Red Lotus in his hand. He's probably just ensuring its survival, like I said. Now, he did not use Mirror Wall in the damage step. That means he just gave away valuable information that this set card is an enemy controller. He basically just revealed that to his opponent. Now, if he has the toggle set to auto, Mirror Wall will not be asked to use on Attack Declaration. But because he used it on Attack Declaration, we're going to assume his toggle was set to auto, and that is why I used Mirror Wall. And because his monster was not face up, this is not in order to charge, so this has to be an enemy controller. And again, I know this is quite unfair that, I'm saying stuff like this while they're playing live. In the future, with more important matches that aren't King of the Hill, like a tournament, I will have a big delay set on, so I will not be commentating like this for future matches. Alright, so if he has an enemy controller, he wins the game. Like I said, he does have enemy controller, so if he plays this correctly, he wins right now. So he could swing over Flash Assailant, tribute the Harpy Lady with enemy controller, take control of Swift Gaia, swing for game. Wow, so because he ended, that means he must have his toggle set to on, and it possibly isn't it could be anything then. It's another Mirror Wall. So he had his toggle set to on. So what he could have done here is he could have mind gamed his opponent, let him think that he has enemy controller by using it outside of the damage step. So when you see someone not use Mirror Wall in the damage step, you can't automatically assume that it was a misplay. He could have mind gamed his opponent, and it mind gamed me. I definitely thought it was an enemy controller. So whether he did that on purpose or by mistake, it made us predict the wrong card.
She's
Alright, so this is game 2 against Handless. Red Lotus Harpies is 7-0. Okay, so the 3 PC fail. 3 PC fail, please do not start your next game. Your next game will be against Zero. If you started the game with Juicebox, please surrender. Zero, the Super Smash 4 player. You've probably heard of him. He wins every tournament he plays in. He is going to play against 3 PC fail at an attempt to knock him from his undefeated status. He is 8-0. So I'm suspecting what Zero is playing because I know what he's been playing in the past.
Duel.
It might not be a Lotus deck. That is all I'm saying right now. So we are watching in the perspective of Zero. So Zero is playing Relinquished. Relinquished Harpies against undefeated 3 PC fail, 8-0 with Lotus Harpies. We have Relinquished. Thank you, Chilla. I enjoy doing this. So 3 PC fail still has to be conservative with his back rows. Even though he's not playing against a pure Harpy deck, he possibly has more back rows, but he likely does not have a Harpy to destroy the field spells. Even if he does, a Harpy will not be strong enough to swing over a Sonic Bird. So he has to be careful with his back rows. So now we know that Zero has the pieces to use a Black Illusion Ritual. Will he choose to tribute his monster, or possibly he might have a Sphere Kuriboh in his hand, or a Harpy. So he's going to choose to be more aggressive with the Senju. He is looking to end this game early. So we have an enemy controller to stop it. Now the main thing 3 PC fail will have to worry about is a Sphere Kuriboh. If he has a Sphere Kuriboh, this may possibly be his first loss of the day. He is 8-0, he has 2-0'd every single opponent. So, no Sphere Kuriboh. So that is devastating for Zero right now, to lose his Relinquished after collecting the pieces to summon him. Zero has to hope that his face down is a mirror wall. If it's anything other than mirror wall, then he's going to be in trouble. I do not think he would bluff a face down underdog, so if it's an enemy controller or an order to charge, then Zero is in a lot of trouble if he could summon another Relinquished. So if you don't know who Zero is, this is his Twitter. He is the Relinquished player right now. He is challenging the King of the Hill, who is 8-0 right now, undefeated, 2-0ing everyone. If you're just joining, this is King of the Hill. It's for Discord members only. And 3 PC Fail has defeated Toon Deck, Handless. He's been winning the mirror matches. He has been completely unstoppable. I think Zero could have won that game if he had a Kuriboh. Zero having to tribute the Harpy in his hand was very telling of his hand. I think it was very monster clogged, as you saw him follow up with a Sonic Bird after he had to tribute him. So I would say that was a little bit of bad luck on his side to not have a Sphere Karibo. So we're going to hop into Game 2 against the undefeated 3PC Fail using Red Lotus Harpies. Alright, this is Game 2 against the undefeated 3PC Fail. So I'm seeing a lot of requests in chat. People want to see Top Deck McGee against the winner of this. They're saying Top Deck McGee is the people's champ, so if Top Deck McGee is up for it, I will message him the room number after this game, and he will be able to challenge the King of the Hill player. So Top Deck McGee, message me in Discord, and I'll give you the room ID. So 3PC Fail is either lacking in back row, or he wanted to be conservative. If he clears both field spells, then sets 3, then we'll know that was the purpose of his play. So he did not, there you go. He had heavy back row in his hand. He did not want to lose to a Harpy summon. So I would definitely expect a follow-up relinquish play. He now has a Sphere Karibo, which he didn't have game 1. So he's going to maintain card advantage after a relinquish summon, if he has it. Will we see a relinquished out? So what he's possibly doing is he's possibly going to use his opponent as the tribute for the relinquished summon. If you're confused about what he's doing, that is what I'm suspecting he is doing right now. So there you go. He could use the Harpy Lady as the fusion, or the ritual, or he's going for game. Alright, so we are thinking the face down is a mirror wall. There it is, it's a mirror wall. That was the only face down it could possibly be for the deck he's playing to not be able to stop a relinquished summon. So will this be the first game in this entire King of the Hill series to be knocked off of 3PC Fail? So taking control of the Harpy forced him to use an early mirror wall, and now he cannot pay for it. So the main thing Zero has to worry about is if he doesn't end this game soon, 3PC Fail could gain so much advantage off of Underdog. Every face down he sets is very worrisome. So this is a very close game at the moment. And this will possibly be the first person to knock one game off of 3 PC fail. I suspect Epic Fail is running 2 Lotus. If you are curious about the deck, it is 2 Lotus, 3 enemy controller, 3 Order to Charge, 3 Sonic Duck, 3 Inpachi, 3 Harpy Ladies, 2 Mirror Wall, 1 Underdog. Okay, so that was not good for Zero that he drew a monster. So now even if he has a Sphere Karibo, his Relinquish is guaranteed to be destroyed right now. Heart of the Underdog is extremely deadly. Do I think Lotus Harpies can work with just one Lotus? You know, you have to build your whole deck around it. I mean, you could. It's definitely better with 2 though. So here we go, another Relinquish summon. He has to be hoping that the face down is a Mirror Wall. If it's not a Mirror Wall, then this game is over. So this is possibly an Order to Charge. Okay. What he could have done was use enemy controller on summon to prevent losing his Sonic Duck. If you wait for the Relinquish player to choose its target with its effect, then you have to lose that monster with enemy controller. Alright, 3 PC fail, remains undefeated. So far, I would say that Zero was the closest person to knocking a game off of him. Heart of the Underdog just gave him too much advantage and it was too hard to keep up. Thank you, Zero, for the game. Now, Top Deck McGee is going to be the next player. Top Deck McGee is known as the top Gravekeeper player in North America. He is top 10 World Championship qualifier, as you can see by his icon. This will be the final game. If 3 PC fail wins this game, then on my next stream, if he is still here, then he can continue his King of the Hill streak. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone who participated in the King of the Hill tournament. This will be the final game. Because of how well this has been, I believe I'll do many more of these in the future. And I'll possibly be adding prize incentive for the King of the Hill player. So expect a lot more of these in the future. Top tier decks from my Discord members. So we have Top Deck McGee started with a Gravekeeper Recruiter, which is ideal for a Gravekeeper deck. We don't know if he has enemy controller because he would not set it against a Harpy player. You don't want to set your enemy controller. So you don't want to assume that his whole hand is full of monsters. So again, we're seeing Heart of the Underdog give an extreme advantage. If they play Heart of the Underdog and you cannot end the game early, you're very likely going to lose. So a good thing as Gravekeepers, if you don't have any big plays in your hand, is to just keep searching Recruiter over and over. It will thin out your deck. So he's possibly a really great play he could do right here is a Soul Exchange into an enemy controller tribute for a Chief. So right here we have a double summon. This could mean an Oracle play. An Oracle play would be devastating. Okay, so 3 PC fail with another top tier play. He set his toggle to on. You must have your toggle set to on to do what he just did. What he did was prevent a double summon Oracle play, which was only possible by setting your toggle to on. Otherwise, you would not be prompted to use Order to Charge when he set his monster, and he would have lost his whole field to an Oracle. So that is a top tier play from 3 PC fail, showing why he is undefeated at King of the Hill right now. And if you're just joining, this is King of the Hill. 3 PC fail is undefeated with Lotus Harpies. I'm going to update it. He's 9-0 right now. He has 2-0'd all his opponents. There have been many, many top tier plays from him. You could learn a lot from watching him. He is showing the power of Lotus Harpies in a very good player's hands. No one has taken a single game off of him. You know, I don't want to be biased towards Top Deck McGee, but based on the last 18 duels, 3 PC fail is 2-0'd everyone. So I'm expecting that this is the end of the stream right now. He's going to swiftly win, and that'll be the end of the stream. Okay, so I'm now seeing requests that people want to see me play the King of the Hill player. I think for next stream, that is what I'll do. The King of the Hill player will get to play me. And we'll see live on stream how that plays out. So, I'm expecting a double summon play here. There's nothing 3 PC fail could have done against this if he has an enemy controller or an Order to Charge. You basically just have to eat it. So this is a very top play from Top Deck McGee to play around Order to Charge and enemy controller. If he screwed up the order of double summon or enemy controller, then he would have used Order to Charge to stop this. So this is threatening game, forcing him to use Mirror Wall. We have 2 very good players here. Top Deck McGee is the Gravekeeper player, and he is a top 10 World Championship qualifier. This looks like the first loss for 3 PC fail. He did not draw a monster with Heart of the Underdog, which he severely needed. So this is the first game of the entire King of the Hill that 3 PC fail will possibly lose. And that's it. The first game 3 PC fail has lost in this entire King of the Hill. He is 9-0. Now I have to take off that he's 2-0ing everyone. What? Yeah, my girlfriend says I'm making you feel like shit. Alright, we're going into Game 3. Will we possibly have a new King of the Hill player? 3 PC fail has been undefeated 9-0. We have Top Deck McGee, came out of nowhere with his Gravekeeper deck, and he is challenging the King of the Hill spot. Hopefully that's a turn 1 Recruiter. He did not use Restart, so I would suspect it's a Recruiter. That's valuable information to know it's a Recruiter if they don't use Restart. Alright, there's nothing he could do about the Soul Exchange. Top Deck McGee is showing the power of Gravekeepers versus Harpies. We earlier thought that Handless has an advantage against Harpies, but 3 PC Fail showed that he could easily 2-0 Handless. But admittedly, the Handless player did not draw very well. So I still think Handless has the advantage. But 3 PC Fail has shown that even if the deck is better against him, he is still likely to win. Yes, the use of Dimension Gate has dimmed down. The only deck that's relevant that is using it is Handless. So this is a very good play from Top Deck McGee. This plays around enemy controller in order to charge. There's nothing he could have done. He tributes for Chief. Now, when I say there's nothing he could have done, that is if Top Deck McGee used this in the draw phase, which he would have to turn his toggle on to do. So most Harpy players are not going to preemptively order to charge just to prevent a play like this. This may be the final game to finally knock out 3 PC Fail from his undefeated spot as King of the Hill. If 3 PC Fail could summon a Red Lotus, then he will be back into this game. 3 PC Fail is playing 2 Red Lotus, so if he could get him out, then he could get back into this. This is game 2. This is game 3. 3 PC Fail took the first one. Top Deck McGee took the second one. And this is the third game coming closely to an end. Yes, you can order to charge in the draw phase. So basically, Top Deck McGee would have to have his toggle set to auto. And 3 PC Fail would have to have his toggle set to on. And that would allow him to order to charge before an enemy controller play. So I'm not sure if he has 3 normal monsters in his graveyard right now. There he goes. Here comes the Red Lotus. If 3 PC Fit loses this game, then he is not going without a fight. Is this the end for Top Deck McGee? After 2 very strong plays early into this game. Yes, Red Lotus is Gravekeeper Chief on cocaine. Let me bring up cards again. Okay, so this is another double summon play. Top Deck McGee is still in the game. He could search for his 3rd chief to tribute. If he's playing a 3rd chief. He may reveal his secret tech, which would be Darkfried, the general, the Dark General. Or this is the end for Top Deck McGee. So I believe this is the end for him. I do not think he's playing a Sphere Karibo. Okay, here is the enemy controller play. Even if he has Mirror Wall, he still loses. And he has no target for order to charge. He has to have an enemy controller. That's it. Top Deck McGee wins against 3 PC Fail. We have the new King of the Hill player. 3 PC Fail was undefeated, 9-0 with Lotus Harpies. Top Deck McGee came in with Gravekeepers. He won the 3rd game. Thank you 3PC Fail for sticking around during your whole King of the Hill run. Thank you Top Deck McGee for participating. And thank you every Discord member who was in this mini little tournament. Thank you everyone who watched. This is the end of the stream. I will possibly do something like this again towards the end of the stream after streaming tomorrow maybe. So thank you everyone for coming. This is the end.